All righty. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here on this beautiful, well, here in Tampa, it's a beautiful Monday morning. Appreciate everybody. You could be, watching here on the East Coast with me. It's a Monday afternoon at this point. Wherever you're watching from, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for the support. We just passed 7,000 subscribers recently, and we're on our way. We're already on our way to 8,000. So if you're not subscribed yet, if you're not supporting the channel by subscribing, liking, turning on notifications, well, you're missing out. All right, you're missing out. It's the CJ Curry Show. It's presented by PrizePicks. Shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. PrizePicks. 100% instant deposit match still waits for you. Use promo code Curry. I've left a link down in the description of today's video. If you're not already playing on PrizePicks yet, it's the best way to play daily fantasy, to go out there and find some player props. I mean, it's my number one and only option. So play on PrizePicks. That's all I'm trying to tell you. All right, gang, we got some exciting news from our friends over at PrizePicks. I'm not going to waste any time. We have a free square to talk about. So shout out to PrizePicks for making playing on their site fun. Let's talk about the free square real quick. Justin Herbert, that's right, Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert has just been posted up on the PrizePicks board as a free square. So basically, if Justin Herbert passes for at least 1 yard or more, it's a winning pick. So he was previously at 285 and a half passing yards. He's been discounted 285 passing yards, down to just 0.5 passing yards. You can't go wrong with that, right? As it says in fine print, PrizePicks entries must contain 2 or more players. The free square promotion only guarantees a win on 1 player, meaning this pick, right? This projection is the free square. That doesn't mean that you could put this in a 6 pick and that you're going to win a 6 pick flex entry. No. But you will win on this 1 pick. You still got to get the other, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 picks right, depending on how you want to use this. Probably your best way to do it is just like a 2-pick power play. Put him in there with 1 other pick that you're really, really liking, that you feel very strongly about, right? But yeah, gotta love when we get a free square. So definitely take advantage if you haven't yet. Justin Herbert, maybe you'll find an NBA play tonight to pair up with Justin Herbert and take advantage of this free square. Or you can go big. Basically, you can put this in a 6 pick. And now your 6 pick is just a 5 pick. You only got to get 5 right, 5 out of 5 right. And you could go for the big 25x payday if you prefer. A little harder, actually a lot harder, obviously. But, there's different ways that you could use this free square. So definitely take advantage and get that locked in, man, if you're not using it yet. Want to run through the chat and say what's up to everybody out there. Appreciate all of the viewers out there. Thank you for getting me to over 7,000 subscribers. It's been a very fun run here. It's almost my 2-year anniversary since joining YouTube. I can't do any of this without you guys, so I appreciate all the continued support. All the new Patreon members. Shout out to all the new Patreon members out there. It's just $20 a month. It's a great way for you to support free content, the show that I do here on YouTube for you guys, and B, get access to some of the picks that I'm liking each night, get access to a community of like-minded individuals, people who are playing on PrizePicks, who are into daily props. Get access to all that stuff in our private Discord channel, right? We're sharing information, we're sharing stats, we're sharing winning picks, we're sharing winning entries, all in our Discord. Again, just $20 a month. I think it comes out to like 60 cents a day. Very cheap, very affordable. Win 1 $10 2-pick power play, and Patreon pays for itself. All right, it's really simple to pay that $20 Patreon fee. 1 $10 2-pick power play, and the entire month of Patreon has paid for itself. Guys, it's a no-brainer. Go sign up. Down in the description, you will find a link to Patreon. Thank you for the support to everybody who already is a Patreon member. And if you're thinking about it, well, I don't think you should be thinking so hard. I think it's a pretty easy decision. Let's run through the chat real quick. We got Jezreel Bell in the building. Shout out to you. Mike from the Forest says, let's start this week strong, gang. I like that energy. I like that attitude. I like that mentality from my man Mike. Chris Raptor says, let's freaking go. We got Throwbacks in the building. Shout out to you. Belated birthday wishes coming through from Throwbacks. I appreciate you for those birthday wishes. 37 years young over here. That's right. J Full A Metal K. Tough sledding this weekend, but we're back at it. Dust ourselves off and ride on. That's right. Never too high, never too low, right? We got to stay even keeled. We're going to have great nights where we win big. We're going to have bad nights where we lose big. All right. But we have to stay even keeled. We have to stay disciplined. We have to manage our bankrolls appropriately through the ups and downs of playing on PrizePicks. Denham Banks is in the building. Shout out to you. Wesley Winston says, what's up, boss man? What's up back to you? Zach's in the building. Good afternoon, gang. Let's make some money this money-making Monday. Yeah, we got 8 NBA games. We're going to get into those. Mo says, what's up, gang? I don't know about y'all, but that was a rough weekend. Looking to bounce back on Money Making Monday. Let's do it. Game is Life says, let's go. Tyrone's in the building. Good morning to you. Hope you enjoyed your birthday weekend. I did, my friend. My Philadelphia Eagles ran up the score on the Tennessee Titans, so my Eagles got a good win. Shout out to the Eagles. Cam's in the building. We got Javon in the building. Anthony's here. We got Atreyu Kennedy. Love that name. Love that name. The Truck 472 says, my birthday is tomorrow. Well, happy birthday to you, Mr. Truck. We got T-Bone in the building as well. All right, let's get down to picking a winner from our last live stream. Guys, if this is your first time watching, it's important that you're subscribed. It's important that you have notifications turned on and that you like today's video. Why is that? Well, I'm picking somebody out of the comment section every time that I go live. And I don't mean picking somebody out of the live chat. I mean, once the replay of today's show goes up on YouTube, go down to the comment section, comment your favorite pick of the day. Maybe somebody sees it. Maybe they tail that pick. Maybe they win big because of your comment. All right. So you want to get qualified to win a risk-free 2-pick power play on PrizePicks to score $100. Well, here's all you got to do. Be a subscriber. Like today's video and leave a comment with your favorite pick of the day on the replay of this video once it goes up. All right, so we're going to pick a winner from the last time we went live, from our last show. We got 23 comments already loaded from that video, from that show. Amount of comments, 23. You see it there. We're going to start the raffle and pick a random winner right here, right now, live on the show. The winner is Jeff Williams. Jeff, I hope you're watching. It pays to watch. It pays to participate. Jeff wins. He was liking Kevin Durant for over 1.5 3-point makes, and he was liking Derek White for over 1.5 threes. That was the comment. Out of 23 comments, it was randomly selected that Jeff Williams is our winner. To claim your risk-free 2-pick on PrizePicks, just DM me, either in Discord. We got a link to the Discord down in the description of the video. You can DM me on the free Discord, or you can DM me over on Twitter at Curry the Creator. Give me a follow if you're not following me on Twitter yet. Either way, though, Jeff Williams, you are the winner from our last show to receive a risk-free 2-pick power play to win $100 on PrizePicks. So shout out to Jeff. I'll be looking forward to hearing from you, my friend. All right, let's move on to Poeltl. Let's try to figure out who today's mystery player is. Again, appreciate everybody who joins. Anthony, to answer your question, when do I upload the replay? It automatically is uploaded once today's live stream ends. So once today's live stream ends, it's automatically uploaded. The replay is automatically uploaded. You'll just go to the comments section. You'll comment your favorite pick of the day. After you've subscribed, after you've hit the like button, you just go and comment. And then you'll automatically be entered to win, and we'll draw a name just like we did for Mr. Jeff Williams, today's winner from last live stream. All right, so Poeltl mystery player today. We get 8 guesses. We could try any current NBA player. Green in any column indicates a match. Yellow in the other columns indicates a partial match. And if we get stuck, we got silhouette mode. So let's start with today's thumbnail player of the day, which is Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam of the Toronto Raptors is our first guess. We totally swung and missed completely here, meaning we did not get a partial match. We did not get an exact match. We didn't get any match. But what we do know is that this player is not in the Eastern Conference. It's going to be a Western Conference player. Somebody who's shorter than 6'8", which is Pascal Siakam's height. Somebody who's younger than 28 years old, which is Pascal Siakam's age. And a jersey number below 43, which is Pascal Siakam's jersey number. All right. So we got a lot of options here. It sounds like we're looking at maybe a point guard or shooting guard, somebody who's fairly young, right? Point guard, shooting guard from the Western Conference. I'm going to just throw a guy out there. Random guy, Devin Booker. Why not? It's not Devin Booker, though. Devin Booker did make for a good guess because we know he's in the Western Conference. We know he is a guard. But this particular player is shorter than 6'5", younger than 26 years old, and is wearing a jersey number higher than number 1. So we know that it is not Devin Booker. Not Devin Booker. And they're not in the Pacific Division either. What about, this could be a controversial guess. It could be a bad guess. I'm just going to throw one out there. D'Angelo Russell. Is that a bad guess? Ugh. Guess it is a bad guess. He's jersey number 0. All right, so we still know that this is a guard, but it's not a player in the Pacific nor in the Northwest Division. We're getting closer in height, though. We now have a partial match at 6'4", which is D'Angelo Russell's height. So we're looking for somebody who's like 6'2", 6'3", Still younger than 26 years old. We're looking for a young guy, a young buck. I'm seeing some guesses here. Let's look at the chat. Some of you guys are throwing out some names. Kobe Bryant. No. My friend. That's not how this works. Has to be a current NBA player. I'm seeing some Jamal Murray, Jalen Green, De'Aaron Fox, Luka Doncic, Anthony Edwards, Jordan Poole, Steph Curry. Steph Curry's probably too old. Let's look at the silhouette, because you guys are throwing out a lot of names here. Ooh, this is interesting, bro. This person's got a fun hairstyle, and that's about all I could tell you from looking at this silhouette. Not Jordan Poole. That is definitely not Jordan Poole's hairstyle. Could it be maybe like a Lou Dort? Am I crazy for saying that? Lou Dort? I don't know. He's got some braids going. Could be Jalen Green. I don't mind Jalen Green. That could be Jalen Green's hair. We've seen Jalen Green rock out a number of different hairstyles. But I'm going to have to rule out. I'm ruling out Jordan Poole for sure. Definitely not Jordan Poole. Definitely not Jamal Murray either. Just based on this hairstyle alone, what we're seeing from this silhouette, not going to be Jalen Brunson either. Brunson's in the Eastern Conference. Could be Jordan Clarkson. It could be. Let's try Jordan Clarkson out. I'm not mad at Jordan Clarkson. Clarkson's got some braids, right? Oh, but he's in the Northwest Division. Duh. No, it's not Jordan Clarkson. Too old. Jalen Green, though. We talked about Jalen Green being an option. Not Jalen Green either. Gang, we got us a hard one here on our hands. Look at this hairstyle. Are we looking at dreads? Are we looking at braids? What are we looking at here? I thought maybe Jalen Green was a solid one. We do know that this player is in the Southwest Division. Guard, 6'4". Jalen Green is actually too young at 20 years old. His jersey number being 4. Higher than 1, higher than 0, higher than 00. But it's still too low at 4. Bones Highland, SGA. SGA? Let's go. Let's try SGA. Nope. Northwest Division. Damn, we're running out of guesses, gang. Are we really going to get stumped like this? Tell me we ain't going to get stumped like this. We're running out of guesses, fam. We got to get it. Ja Morant? For sure. This guy's saying it's Ja Morant. It is Ja Morant. Hallelujah. 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 KB the Fool coming through with the clutch buzzer beater. Ja Morant. We solved it in 7 guesses. We had one more guess to spare, but we got it right with Ja Morant. Thank the heavens. Ja Morant, Memphis Grizzlies, Western Conference, Southwest Division, plays guard. He is 6'2", 23 years of age, rocking jersey number 12. Javon says, bro, we've been saying that. Who said that, man? Y'all were saying a lot. I saw Bones Highland, Scotty Barnes. I saw SGA. We tried some of these guesses. De'Aaron Fox, Lou Dort. We tried a lot of guys. All right, I didn't see Ja Morant, okay, until my man came through. Clutch. But we got it. We did not get stumped. Thank the Lord. All right, let's move on. Let's take a look at today's NBA slate. 8 games, gang. Let's get into it. 7 p.m. tip-off. Milwaukee Bucks at Orlando. We got a really good team in Milwaukee versus a really bad team. Yes, Orlando is my team, but unfortunately, we suck. We're still young. We're still trying to figure things out, and we got a lot of injuries. So Drew Holiday looks like he is going to play tonight. Chris Middleton also looks like he will play tonight. Brook Lopez's status up in the air, as is Grayson Allen. Over on the Orlando side, Mo Bamba game time decision. Still no Wendell Carter Jr., Gary Harris for Orlando. Jalen Suggs is out. Chuma Okeke also out. So Orlando dealing with some injuries. It's going to be Mo Wagner, Bobo, Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, and Markelle Fultz, who has made 2 starts. He's getting limited minutes, but he's back. Markelle Fultz is back. We got Cole Anthony coming off of the bench. 222 point total with a 6.5 point spread. But definitely stay on top of the injury news from this game. That's probably going to be one that ends up blowing out. Let's just be honest. Milwaukee seems to always beat the brakes off of us in Orlando. 7 p.m. tip-off between the Clippers and the Hornets. Lots of injuries here. Lots of news to monitor. Paul George, game time decision. Luke Kennard, game time decision. Kawhi Leonard, game time decision. No Norman Powell. He's definitely out tonight, according to this. As far as the Charlotte Hornets, LaMelo Ball's out. Gordon Hayward's out. We got Martin, Smith, and Williams all out as well. So Charlotte, they've been running this same little squad of 5 here. Rozier, Oubre, McDaniels, Washington, and Plumlee. They're going to run it back tonight. Low scoring game, though. Just 213.5 points. Not a lot of points. Not a lot of offense expected from these two teams, but a 0.5 spread. Now, if Leonard PG-13 ends up being ruled in, I could see the Los Angeles Clippers possibly blowing out the Hornets here, but stay on top of the news, all right? Both of these games, the first two that we've talked about, 7 p.m. tip-offs, a lot of injury news that could shake things up. All right, 7:30 brings us a fun game between OKC and Atlanta. We're going to have SGA and Josh Giddey going up against the likes of Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. We already know that Hunter is going to be out, as is Collins. So two of the big pieces, typically guys who are in the starting lineup, Hunter, Collins, both going to be out for Atlanta. So it's really going to fall on the shoulders of Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, and probably some Clint Capella. But a big total of 231 points expected between these two ball clubs. 7.5 point spreads favoring the Atlanta Hawks. So expect a blowout here. So if you wanted to avoid a potential blowout, you could always play props from this game as a first half only. Something that I really enjoy about PrizePicks, they offer first half only. It's a way for you to get skin in the game without exposing yourself to potential blowout risks. So this looks like a fun one. Big total, 231. You might want to go first half only, though. Another fun one tonight. Boston and Toronto tipping off at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. A lot of potential injury news that could shake things up. Guys like Marcus Smart for the Boston Celtics. Over on the Toronto side, looks like Hernan Gomez is going to be a game time decision. He's made some spot starts for the Toronto Raptors, but 224 point total, 1.5 point spread. Looks like it's going to stay close and competitive. Not a sky high total here, but one that's competitive enough where you could target some overs, guys who are in really good matchups. Boston's going to be on a back-to-back tonight. Important to note, maybe fatigue is a factor. Maybe some of these guys are a little bit tired traveling to Toronto on the road tonight. So keep an eye on that one. Philadelphia, Houston, 8 p.m. tip-off, just a 217.5 point total. That's because the Philadelphia 76ers play at a slow snail's pace. Houston, typically an up-tempo run-and-gun style team, but then you got Philadelphia in the mix, who typically like to slow things down. Now, this is saying that James Harden, the Beard, is a game time decision tonight. So stay on top of the news here. Let's just quickly tap in with James Harden, because this would be a big addition. A big addition if Philadelphia gets him back. As of December 4th, which was yesterday, it says that James Harden is still tracking toward a return on Monday, which would make things very interesting because obviously James Harden, once upon a time, a member of the Houston Rockets, had some of his best years playing in Houston. Philadelphia taking on Houston tonight in Houston. So it looks like the Beard might make his return against his former team, the Houston Rockets, in Houston tonight. He's been dealing with a foot injury. He said after the 76ers practice session on Sunday that he is on pace to return to the lineup on Monday in Houston. Perfect. Well, it sounds like we're going to get some James Harden back for the Philadelphia 76ers. Still no Tyrese Maxey, though. He is out. But things are looking pretty good here. 217.5, 4.5 point spread. As far as injuries on the Houston Rockets side, not a whole lot of injuries to talk about. Jayshawn Tate, the only one who is a game time decision. Moving on to another 8 o'clock game between the Miami Heat and the Memphis Grizzlies. Obviously, the Miami Heat have had a long list, a huge list of names that could be potentially in or out any given night. But you kind of see who's trending toward playing and who's not. Guys like Tyler Herro, Highsmith, Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, all seem to be more probable than doubtful. Then you got Jimmy Butler, whose status is currently up in the air. Gabe Vincent, Dwayne Dedmon, their status is still unknown. So as we get closer to tip-off, we'll start to get some of this news trickling in, and then we can make a decision on what we want to do with this Miami Heat team. As for the Memphis Grizzlies, Steven Adams did not play last night. He is a game time decision. Desmond Bane still out for Memphis. 221.5 point total with a 4-point spread. All right. Not a super high total, but not super low either, but is expected to stay close and competitive. Wait for the news before you tap into any of the Miami or Memphis player props today. Phoenix at Dallas, 8:30 p.m. tip-off. This is always a fun game when these two teams meet. They've faced each other a lot in recent years throughout the playoffs. Phoenix traveling to Dallas tonight, just a 218-point total, but a 5-point spread, so hopefully it stays close and competitive. We got Chris Paul, a.k.a. the Kim K Slayer, says he might play tonight. We don't have any for sure news, anything concrete, no rock solid evidence or anything that he's going to play, but he is a game time decision as of right now. Torrey Craig set out in the last game. He's also a game time decision tonight. Obviously, Jay Crowder and Cam Johnson are both out for the Phoenix Suns. On the Dallas side, keep an eye on Christian Wood. He did not play in the last game. He has a chance, it says, to play tonight. He's been dealing with an illness, so we'll have to see if his non-COVID illness keeps him sidelined again tonight. But Christian Wood is another guy who's an impact player who could potentially be in or out. So definitely going to stay on top of that news. Moving on to the last game of the night, we've got two teams who wear the blue and the yellow. We got the Indiana Pacers traveling to the Golden State Warriors. Biggest total of the night at 235, I believe, but big time blowout risk at 11.5 point spread. So if you're going to play anybody from this game and you want to avoid a potential blowout, first half only on PrizePicks is a great way to attack this game. Lots of injuries for the Indiana Pacers, impactful ones. Tyrese Halliburton obviously being a very key injury. Without him in there, I don't know who they're going to start. TJ McConnell would be their backup point guard typically, but he's also a game time decision. If he's good to go, then you could probably see him in the starting lineup. But as of right now, it's going to be Nembhard, whoever that is. Outside of that, Chris Duarte is out. So they're going to be leaning on Buddy Hield, Jalen Smith, Miles Turner without Tyrese Halliburton and potentially without TJ McConnell tonight. For the Golden State Warriors, Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins, both game time decisions. So if those guys sit out, it'll be Curry, Thompson, really carrying the load offensively for Golden State. But yeah, big total, 235, but an 11.5 point spread. So be careful with that one. Be careful. All right. Appreciate everybody being here. I see some of you folks jumping in here. Some of you that are not big Raptors fans when it comes to betting on the Raptors. Captain King saying, I'll never bet on the Raptors again. Paulia saying, yeah, we done with the Raptors. Raptors are dead. I hear you, fam. I hear you. All right, let's get into today's NBA player props and picks on PrizePicks. Again, PrizePicks, daily fantasy made easy. If you don't play on PrizePicks yet, code Curry, 100% instant deposit match. Head on over to PrizePicks. Use that code. Make your first deposit. You'll get a 100% instant deposit match on your first deposit, all the way up to $100. 100 smackaroos. All right, what are we liking tonight, gang? Guys, I'm going to tell you this. I went back to Kelly Oubre in the last game. He was at 9.5 first half points going up against Milwaukee. My man could not buy a bucket, but he's going up against the Clippers tonight. The likes of Paul George, Kawhi Leonard are out. I might go back to Kelly Oubre here, coming off of just a bad shooting game. I might go back to Kelly Oubre, either for his first half points. That could be a move. We could also go Kelly Oubre for maybe first half PRA or his first half fantasy score. I think all of those are reasonable options. Running through the rest of the board here. What else do we like? Do we like anything from Milwaukee, Orlando? I mean, I'm staying away from Orlando, but Paolo Banchero at 18.5 points is always kind of interesting to me, especially with all the injuries, right, to the Orlando Magic. We know that Bamba's going to potentially be out. Wendell Carter Jr., Gary Harris, Okeke, Suggs. Banchero coming off of a bad game, but typically he's pretty good for 19, 20-ish points. That could be a move. But I've mostly avoided playing the Orlando Magic. They just got too many moving parts and pieces. Too many injuries, too many rotation changes and stuff for us to really figure out who's going to do what on a given night. So this Milwaukee-Orlando game for me is probably going to be mostly a fade. We still got to see if Drew Holiday's really going to play. Chris Middleton's really going to play tonight. So before I go locking anything in on this game, I got to see some injury news. I'm just going to stay away from that. Somebody's mentioning Terry Rozier's assist. He's sitting at 6 assists. Yeah, he's done some pretty good work at 5.5 assists. I know he's been hitting the over most days, most nights, more often than not, with the likes of LaMelo Ball, Gordon Hayward out, right? No Dennis Smith Jr. So the ball handling, playmaking really falls on Terry Rozier's shoulders. He had himself a down game, we'll say, against a tough Milwaukee Bucks squad. Even though the Bucks didn't have their big three, no Giannis, Middleton, or Drew Holiday in that last game against Milwaukee, but still, Terry Rozier and the Charlotte Hornets really struggled in that game. They struggled in that one. So maybe he's due for a little bounce back tonight going up against the Los Angeles Clippers, who could be dealing with their own injuries, right? What do we think about SGA? SGA. I don't see him up here right now for his points. I think that's intentional, right? I think PrizePicks is doing that to us on purpose because SGA has been hitting this point prop at a very high rate. You see all these other ways to play SGA, but his points. No points up on the board. So what's up with that? Now, if you be patient, I'm sure if you can be patient, we'll get SGA's points up at some point in the day. I guess as of right now, maybe you would go like either points and rebounds or points and assists. But those pure points, probably the highest hitting prop for SGA. But they're waiting for it. They ain't giving it to us just yet. You got some other guys from this game that are quite interesting. Guys like Trae Young, DeJounte Murray. We talked about no DeAndre Hunter, no John Collins. So offensively, Trae Young and DeJounte Murray are going to have to shoulder the load. We've seen DeJounte Murray at 20.5 points for most of the season. The last couple of games, though, he's put up 27 and 34 points. So they've now bumped his point up to 21.5. So instead of the 20.5, we're getting him at 21.5. So they're giving him a point bump. Trae Young sitting out there at 27.5. He's always capable of going for 30 or more. We haven't seen Trae Young play since the month of December started, right? Apparently, there was a little news blurb that came out that him and head coach Nate McMillan got into it. And so Trae Young didn't end up traveling with the team. So that was the night that DeJounte Murray really had free reign against the Denver Nuggets, dropped 34 points without Trae Young in the starting lineup. Trae should be playing tonight against SGA and OKC. So we expect Trae Young to be back out there again. Scrolling through the rest of these, though, what do we think about, I don't know, this Boston-Toronto game? Anything standing out to you guys from Boston and Toronto? Let me know. OG Anunoby went completely bonkers against Orlando in this last game. 32 against Orlando on my birthday. Not fun if you're an Orlando Magic fan celebrating a birthday. OG Anunoby went off. He went off. I don't know if he's going to go off tonight against Boston, but somebody saying Jaylen Brown is always green. Well, he has definitely been on a streak here. 36, 26, 37, and 34. Jaylen Brown's definitely been crushing it. We got Joel Embiid for 31.5 points with James Harden potentially coming back. Is this number too high for Joel Embiid? 31.5 with James Harden? Well, we could take a look at that. One way that you can look at this information is by going to StatMuse. You can go Joel Embiid points with James Harden logs. Something along those lines should get you your results that you're looking for. I mean, he's definitely scored 32 or more in games with James Harden. But what about this season? We know Tyrese Maxey's still going to be out. Just this season alone, he's only gone over 31.5 points one time, one game this season with James Harden playing alongside him. He had 26 against Boston, 15 against Milwaukee, 40, that was a big one, against the San Antonio Spurs, 26, 31, and 25. So he's only gone over 31.5 points in one game with James Harden, but Tyrese Maxey won't be out there. So maybe that impacts things a little bit. Do we think that with James Harden making his return to Houston, making his return to the Philadelphia 76ers starting lineup, that they're going to try to feed James Harden or feature James Harden tonight? Maybe Embiid takes a little bit of a back seat. I know it never feels good to take an under on a player like Joel Embiid, but I'm just simply putting it out there. Maybe this number is just a touch, just a tad too high. Let's get you a projection on Joel Embiid's points real quick. Embiid's points currently at 31.8 right now. Early betting action coming in on the under at 31.5. They got him as a minus 120 betting favorite to go under 31.5. So just throwing it out there. Maybe this number is just a touch too high. As we glance over the board, kind of doing a first look at this board. Anybody from Houston that really catches your eye, let me know. What are we liking? Jalen Green, we got Jabari Smith, Eric Gordon, potentially at 10.5 points. Alperen Şengün, 13.5 points. We got Ja Morant going up against Miami. I don't really like playing anybody from the Miami side. I typically don't like playing players against Miami because they're typically a tough team defensively. But you got the likes of Ja Morant, Dillon Brooks. We're still waiting on news from Steven Adams. Is he going to play or not? That would be a big one. Obviously, that impacts things like rebounds and stuff like that. And then you got some of these Phoenix Suns, Dallas Mavericks props on the board. Guys, I want to point out something here. Timmy Hardaway Jr., THJ, has been absolutely hot in his last 3 games. 28 PRA, 33 PRA, and 36 PRA against his former team, the New York Knicks. I don't know if he's going to keep it going tonight. I'm sure Mikal Bridges will be drawing that defensive assignment. Unless they put Bridges on Luka. They could do that. And if they do that, then maybe THJ keeps it rolling tonight against, Devin Booker, whoever they match up with. But this guy's been really hot. So if he's not on your radar yet, he probably should be on your radar at this point. He's been hitting his PRA pretty easily. He's also been hitting the points pretty easily. 22, 26, and 28 points in his last 3 games. So those are some ways you could play THJ. Not really looking to take him for rebounds, but he's been hitting that too. 3 for 3 on his rebounds, 3 for 3 on his points, 3 for 3 on the PRA. So he should be on your radar tonight, is all I'm saying. Unless they put Mikal Bridges on him. Then I'm a little bit concerned. But let's get to some of your questions, man. We got AOD saying, CJ, we love you, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you for the love. Again, I'm giving away a free 2-pick every single day. And if you get those 2 picks right, you get $100 on PrizePicks. You just got to be a subscriber. You just got to like today's video. And once this replay goes live on YouTube, you go to the comment section, comment in today's comment section, and I'll pick one of you guys and give away another 2-pick. But you guys start feeding me some picks here. I'll look into some of your favorite picks in depth. But we just kind of did a quick scan through the board as of our options right now. There we go. There's SGA's points. 30.5, gang. They finally posted them up here. My man has went for a 30 spree in his last 5 games. 31, 30, 32, 31, and 33. So SGA going up against Atlanta tonight. Probably a good spot for him. Gutta saying SGA's points are definitely up. They're all the way up, for sure. All the way up. We finally got it. But yeah, if you guys, have something that is a pressing matter, an urgent pick that you need me to look at, guys, use Super Chat. It's a way for you to support the channel. If you look in the live chat window, there's like a little $ icon. You hit that. You can leave a Super Chat for as little as like $1.99 or something like that. It highlights your comment, guarantees that I'll see it, and then I'll do a deep dive research on your favorite picks. Trey Prince says, I am fading SGA tonight. Interesting. Perfect sell high spot. Sell high on who? SGA at 30.5. Trey Prince saying Tim Hardaway Jr. is balling, but still kind of risky. I probably prefer his first half for some reason. First half. Now, typically I only play first half if I see some sort of edge. Like if a guy's hit rates in the first half are absurdly higher than his full game, or if the game looks like it could be a potential blowout. But in this case, we got a 218 point total with a 5-point spread. So this one does not look like a potential blowout. I will say this, maybe he's having more success because Christian Wood's been out. Maybe that's a fair assessment. With Christian Wood being out of the rotation, maybe Tim Hardaway Jr. is finding more minutes, more opportunities to shoot, rebound, assist, etc. Trey Prince says fading SGA tonight. Let's look at SGA real quick because that's kind of interesting. Obviously, he's been one of the hottest players under the sun. We're going to use Props.Cash to help with our player prop research. Guys, if you don't use Props.Cash, it's just $20 a month. And on your first month, I can save you 25%. Use code CURRY. If you're not using Props.Cash yet, I've left a link down in the description of today's video. Let's sign in here to Props.Cash and take a closer look at SGA. You guys are saying get off of SGA tonight, that you're fading SGA tonight. Let's look into this one in depth here. What's the best move? What's the best way? Well, obviously this guy's averaging 31.1 points per game. His line set at 30.5. Probably feels a little bit more comfortable at 29.5. So I can understand the hesitancy at 30.5. 14 for 21 this season, 67% hit rate at 30.5 points. We could also take a look at the splits, right? What are splits? Well, when he plays at home versus when he plays on the road or away. You can look at home and away splits. In this case, Oklahoma is visiting Atlanta, so he is going to be on the road tonight. So let's start by looking at his home splits. When he plays in front of the OKC fans, does he play better? Does he score more? Well, according to this, 30.9 points per game when he plays at home. 5 for 9, 56% hit rate. 30.9 is still very good. But when we flip this over from home to away, his splits are actually better when he plays on the road, which is, again, the case tonight. He's playing in Atlanta tonight. When he plays on the road, he's 9 for 12, a 75% hit rate, averaging over 31 points per game on the season at 31.3. So if you're going to take SGA, it looks like the best time to take SGA's points is when he's playing on the road like he is tonight. So I can understand some of you wanting to fade Mr. Gilgeous-Alexander here. But playing him on the road is the way to play him. That's the best time to play him according to what he's done in his home and road splits. 31.3 for the season, 31.6 in his last 10, and 30.6 in his last 5. If you look at just the last 10 games, he's hit the over in 8 out of 10, an 80% hit rate. His last 10 games on the road. So I can understand, like I said, you guys wanting to possibly fade him tonight. But we're looking at a Hawks team that's going to be without DeAndre Hunter, going to be without John Collins, and, you know, it's going to be DeJounte Murray and Trae Young. And I think that obviously you would put DeJounte Murray on SGA to try and slow him down. I think that would be the reasonable thing to do. He's a better defender than Trae Young, and he could potentially create problems for SGA. But this total on this game, 236.5 with a 6-point spread. I don't hate SGA tonight. I mean, I'm not mad at it. One thing that we could do here, for those that are curious-minded like myself, we could go Gilgeous-Alexander points versus DeJounte Murray logs. We can see how he's done going up against Murray head-to-head. All right, so this is like career numbers, and I can't say for sure or for certain that DeJounte Murray was guarding SGA one-on-one in a majority of these games. All right. But this is the career numbers, SGA versus DeJounte Murray. He's gone over 30.5 points in just three games. Out of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's 3 for 10 against DeJounte Murray, according to StatMuse here. So in case you were wondering how those individual head-to-head matchups have gone, that's how they've gone. You take a look at the minutes here. He's received 30-plus minutes in every game he's played against Murray, so he's not missing the over on his 30.5 points because of a lack of minutes. The minutes have definitely been there, 30-plus minutes in every single matchup, every single contest against Murray. I just think Murray's a tough little scrappy defender, so it could be a problem. Could be a problem for SGA. I wanted to point that out to you, kind of let you see for yourself how Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has done against our guy. Anyway, his projected points, 30.2. He's at 30.5 on most sports books. Guys, on BetMGM, slight betting favorite at this time, at this moment, to go under at 30.5. We take a look at 31.5. He's as high as 31.5 on some books. Slight betting favorite to go under at 31.5. So we're not seeing a lot of action, a lot of traction on the over at 30.5 on SGA. So we got him up there, but he's at 30.5. And it seems like a lot of folks are hesitant to click the over, that he's going to go for 31 or more tonight against this guy, this young man, DeJounte Murray, pretty good defender in his own right. So you might want to steer clear of SGA. I mean, he does hit higher on the road, but you know, he's not a slouch. Let's see. Patrick's saying sell high on THJ. He's overperformed against weak defenses. His line was 15.5 against the Knicks. Now it's at 17.5 against a way better defense. He went off against New York and Detroit. Not the same teams. Yeah, it's a pretty low total, and we know Phoenix is a tough team in their own right. Could end up seeing a lot of Mikal Bridges and or, I don't know, Devin Booker. Are we worried about Devin Booker as a defensive threat or presence? Trey Prince is saying, I'm worried about big win with Atlanta plus Murray. SGA is due for a down game. All right. Ja Morant at 29.5 points. Should we hit the under on Ja Morant at 29.5 points? Well, another really talented, super all-world type of guard here. Ja Morant, 29.5 points. He did drop 33 against Detroit, but tonight he's facing off against the Miami Heat, who are far from the Detroit Pistons. Now, I told you guys, there is a lot of pending injury news for this Miami Heat team. So for me, I'm taking the wait and see approach. I'm in no rush to jump on anything from this game because we're still waiting on the status of Jimmy Butler, Gabe Vincent, Dwayne Dedmon. Sounds like Tyler Herro, Highsmith, Duncan Robinson, Max Strus will all play. But Jimmy Butler being in or out is something that is impactful enough that I feel like I should wait. And the same thing on the other side. We got Steven Adams as a game time decision. That could be a piece of impactful news potentially. So as far as Ja Morant, what am I going to do with him? I'm going to wait and see for right now. I think I'm going to wait and see. But we could go take a look at this game here a little closer on Ja Morant at 29.5. 45% hit rate. 9 for 20, gang. 9 for 20. What about with Desmond Bane out? Desmond Bane out. He's 7 out of his last 13. He has not done such a great job here in the last 10 games, 11 games. Just 5 for 10, covering 29.5 points without Desmond Bane. So for me, again, probably just going to hold my horses here. Hasn't been hitting that 30 or more mark at a very high clip. Going up against Miami, if Jimmy Butler's in, I think it becomes an even more difficult matchup for Ja Morant. Taking a look at last season, he did face Miami once back on October 30th. Ended up with just 20 points against the Heat in that game. 20 points. So it's a little concerning, right? Maybe you do take the under on Ja Morant, but if you feel uncomfortable about it, you can always fade it as well. I got it projected for a 29.6 projected point number. Out on the sports book, they got him at 29.5. Slight betting favorite on a site like FanDuel to go under 29.5. We've even got him at 28.5, which is a sign to me, an indication that the lines makers on some of these other sports books thinks 28 to 29 points for Ja Morant is an expected outcome. So for me, early on here, first look type of situation, I'd probably lean toward the under on Ja Morant. Tough Miami Heat squad, 28.5 on some sports books. So for me, I'm probably going to take the wait and see approach. But right now, as of right now, gun to head, making me answer, I'd say probably lean toward the under on Ja Morant. Just hasn't been hitting that 30 or more point mark at a very high clip. And he's going up against a tough Miami Heat squad tonight. So that's how I would approach it. Everyday Fantasy coming through with a super chat. Appreciate you, my friend. He's saying, what about Paolo Banchero's rebounds at 5? Please look. Let's do it. Let's look at it. Paolo Banchero, I talked about the Orlando Magic briefly at how frustrating they can be to figure out, right? We've seen Banchero at 5 rebounds fail to exceed 5 rebounds in 5 straight games. He's landed on exactly 5 boards as recently as 5 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Tonight, he's taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. If they are at full strength like they are expected to be, by full strength, I mean Brook Lopez, Giannis, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, etc., then I would say that this is probably a tougher time for Paolo Banchero here. Giannis is expected to play. He does not have an injury designation. Brook Lopez is a game-time decision. Middleton, still a game-time decision. Drew Holiday, game-time decision. Grayson Allen, game-time decision. Mo Bamba, game-time decision for Orlando. That could be a piece of maybe impactful news for Paolo Banchero and his rebounding opportunities. So again, not getting into any type of hurry or rush to lock things in until maybe some more news trickles out could be your best route from a game like this with a lot of potential injury news, right? Guys that could be in or out. But taking a look at the rebound chances here using NBA.com, we could look at the last few games for Paolo Banchero, kind of get an idea what's been going on with this Orlando Magic squad. So let's look at the last 5 games. We're going to switch this from all teams to just the Orlando Magic. Click Get Stats. And we can take a look at the rebound chances here. There is no lead dog. There is no top dog when it comes to rebound chances. So here's what I'll tell you, Everyday Fantasy. When it comes to rebound chances and how they've been distributed for the Orlando Magic, they're all over the place in the last 5 games. You got Mo Wagner, who's projected to potentially start if Mo Bamba is out. He's leading the way in 8.8 rebound chances per game. Right behind him, his Bobo at 8.2 rebound chances per game. Caleb Houston, 7.4. You've got Paolo Banchero, 7.4, right? But even Cole Anthony in the last 3 games, a 6.7 rebound chances. Franz Wagner, 6.4. So you kind of get an idea what's been happening here with this Orlando Magic squad. There's not one dominant rebound chance guy like we saw back when like Wendell Carter Jr. was in the starting lineup, right? He's hurt tonight. He won't play. So it's anybody's guess who's going to come through clutch in the rebound department, because the rebound chances have just been spread so evenly across the board for the guys that are seeing big minutes over the last few games. But yes, more often than not, Paolo Banchero has stuck at 5 or less rebounds in his last 5 games. So I'd be careful with him. I see they're not giving us Franz Wagner's rebounds. I took the under on Franz Wagner at 4.5 boards. That's been a good play. Maybe they give us Wagner at some point. Maybe he's at 4.5 boards. I don't know. But he could be a good underplay as well. But yeah, I mean, as of right now, Banchero's sitting at 5 rebounds. I don't feel super confident that he's going to go over that number, seeing that so many of these rebound chances are just going to guys like Mo Wagner and Bobo, etc. Banchero averaging exactly just 3 rebounds per game in his last 5 games. Let's take a look here at Banchero for his boards. Projected for 6.2. That does seem a touch high to me. That seems a little too high for a guy who hasn't hit that number in a while, right? He's at 5.5 on most sports books, being bet under -125, -129 to stay under 6 rebounds tonight. So you could end up in another tie or push situation for Banchero. Taking a look at the DVP, defense versus position, we can see how many rebounds per game that the Milwaukee Bucks give up to the small forward, power forward position. We'll look at both since Banchero's kind of in between him and Bol, you know, who's the small forward, who's the power forward, who knows? They're both forwards. We can tell you that. All right. So scrolling down here, Milwaukee giving up about 9.1 rebounds per game to power forwards, which puts them in like the bottom 10. So they're one of the more stingy teams when it comes to rebounds allowed to power forwards, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8th fewest rebounds given up to power forwards at 9.1 per game. So that doesn't look good. That looks like you should be leaning toward the under on Banchero, right? What about small forwards? We talked about him and Bol. Who's the small forward? Who's the power forward, right? Well, we go down to the small forward position. Bucks giving up the 2nd fewest rebounds per game Just 6.7 rebounds per game to small forwards, gang. They're just not giving up a whole lot of boards to either forward spot, small forward or power forward. So yes, I would tend to agree that maybe we should be leaning toward the under once again on Paolo Banchero, despite what seems like a little bit of a high projection of 6.2 against the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. So that's kind of your deep dive on Paolo Banchero and my thoughts on it. That's what I would do. Jesse coming through. Appreciate the super chat, Jesse. Jesse says, what about Tim Hardaway Jr. PRA over? Well, we did talk about that one just a little bit. Maybe you're just getting here, but we can definitely recap what we said about THJ for you, kind of look at it a little bit further. We mentioned Tim Hardaway Jr. has been absolutely hot heat. At 22.5 PRA, he's hit this in 3 straight games. We've also talked about his points at 16.5. He's hit this in 3 straight games, 20 or more points scored, actually 22 or more points scored in the last 3 contests, 22 against Golden State, 26 against Detroit and New York. As somebody astutely pointed out, Detroit, New York, tougher team, or easier teams, easier matchups for a guy like Tim Hardaway Jr. than the matchup he'll be facing tonight, which is the Phoenix Suns. So Tim Hardaway Jr. has been getting it done. Shoot, he's even been getting it done in the rebound column with 4, 5, and 7 in his last 3 games. I don't know if that rebound number, that type of output is sustainable. For me, I'd probably lean more toward like his points. Because if Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to do anything, I think we could put our money down on him taking in shots, right? He's definitely going to take shots. He may not always be a rebounding force or a rebounding threat, but my man is definitely going to take his fair share of shots on this team. And they really need him to, right? They need sort of that third guy to step up, especially if Christian Wood is out again tonight. It's going to be Luka. We know he's the top dog. He's the superstar. He's the primary offensive weapon. But then behind him, you got what? Spencer Dinwiddie. He gets somewhat involved, kind of inconsistent though. They need a guy like Tim Hardaway Jr. to be sort of that third man, that consistent scoring threat. So he's definitely going to be involved in the offense. He's definitely going to get his fair share of shots. He's definitely going to get some usage, especially when Christian Wood is not active. Right now, Christian Wood, game time decision. For me, again, I'd probably wait and see what happens when Christian Wood news, right? When we get news on him. Is he going to be in or out? But as of right now, yes, Tim Hardaway Jr. is looking like a good play. He's looking like a good play. We can actually go back and look at the last 3 games here and look at the usage using NBA.com's NBA Advanced Stats page. So we're going to be looking at the advanced filters. We're going to switch this from all teams to just the Dallas Mavericks. And instead of looking at all season segments, we want to look at the last 3 games because these are the 3 games that Tim Hardaway Jr. has really popped off here, right? So we do that. We take a look at the usage percentage. Luka Doncic definitely leading the way with a high usage rate of almost 38% in the last 3 games. Christian Wood did appear in 2 of those games with 24.4% usage. Tim Hardaway Jr. tied him, though, for usage rate at 24.4 himself. So I like it even more if Christian Wood is out. But Christian Wood was in for 2 of the games played in the last 3 that Tim Hardaway has gone completely bonkers. But yes, the matchup is going to be a lot harder tonight against the Phoenix Suns. But the usage has definitely been very, very high for THJ in the last 3 games. As I said, tied for second, I would say, amongst qualifying players. We could throw Jaden Hardy out of there. He probably played some garbage time, some garbage minutes, only played 7 minutes, so we can't really count him. So it pretty much goes Luka, Christian Wood, and Tim Hardaway Jr. The last 3 games. Those are your top 3. And Wood and THJ tied for second in usage at 24.4% usage rate. So things are looking good here for Tim Hardaway Jr. Let's take a look at the matchup, though. Phoenix, obviously known to be a pretty tough team. We're not sure if Chris Paul and or Torrey Craig are going to play tonight. Chris Paul, game time decision. Torrey Craig, game time decision as well. So you might want to take your time before you go locking in too many entries with Tim Hardaway Jr. Is Christian Wood in or out? Is on the other side, is Chris Paul, Torrey Craig in or out? We got time to make these decisions, gang. We ain't got to rush into anything. I would say Dorian Finney-Smith is your power forward for Dallas, and then you've got THJ kind of playing the small forward position. Luka and or Spencer Dinwiddie going to be your backcourt, your point guard, shooting guard, right? I think that's fair. Take a look at this Phoenix Suns team, though. Go all the way down to the bottom. The Suns are giving up the fewest points per game to small forwards at right around 19 per game. They're giving up about 19 per game. He needs about 17 of those 19 to hit the over. So as we talked about, as Patrick mentioned, tough matchup. This isn't the Detroit Pistons, gang. This isn't the New York Knicks, gang. This is the Phoenix Suns. And they'll be a lot tougher of a team if Chris Paul is in, if Torrey Craig is in. Who do you guys think that they put Mikal Bridges on, their best defender? Do you think they put him on THJ? Do you think they put him on Luka? How do you think they match up with Dallas? Let's just assume that Chris Paul, Torrey Craig are out. Do you put Devin Booker on Tim Hardaway Jr.? And if you do, are we worried about that matchup for THJ? I don't know. But what we do know is that Phoenix is giving up the first fewest points per game to small forwards. So matchup-wise, kind of looks shaky, right? Kind of looks a little dicey. Let's get you a projection on some of these different ways to play THJ tonight. We got him at 16.5 points, 3.5 boards, 22.5 PRA. Which way is the best way to play THJ? Bars. He's at 16.5 points on PrizePicks, projected for 15.2 points against the Phoenix Suns, at 16.5 on all your different sports betting sites. Looks like some action, early on action is coming in on the under here, minus 120 to go under at 16.5. Some slight overs coming in on some of these other sports books, lesser known sports books, minus 115 betting favorite to go over 16.5. So he's projected for 15.2 points. Slight betting favorite on the major sports books to go under at 16.5 on the points. Let's look at the rebounds. Projected for 3.3 rebounds. Now on the rebound front, we're seeing some juice, pretty good juice on the over on 3.5 boards. Minus 125, minus 130, minus 136. And we're seeing him as high as even at 4.5 boards on a site like PointsBet. PointsBet's lines makers have him at 4.5, meaning 4 to 5 rebounds is what they think he can possibly get tonight. And we've seen him get 4 or more rebounds in 3 straight games. So far, I would say, just based on which way the juice is coming in, a decent projection at 3.3. So far, I would say I prefer the rebounds over the points, which totally goes against my whole train of thought, is we would want to take a scorer points, right? Not a score for rebounds. But let's look at the PRA. PRA sitting at 22.5 on PrizePicks. He's projected for 20.5. Guys, if he is not making shots, he will not hit his PRA. He is going to be one of those guys who is very scoring dependent. In order to hit his PRA, he's definitely going to have to be getting points tonight. The PRA has hit in 3 out of the last 3 as well, but you can see right now he's projected for 20.5. He is a betting favorite to go under 22.5 for the PRA as well. So I guess out of any of these, the one that looks the best, the way that the public is betting it up, is his rebounds. Maybe they shut him down from an offensive standpoint. Maybe they put Bridges or Booker on him. And maybe that does slow down his scoring output, but maybe he's still out there pulling in boards. Let's look at the Phoenix Suns against small forwards for rebounds. Phoenix not really giving up a ton of rebounds from the looks of things. They're decent at 7.6 rebounds per game. That kind of puts them right in the middle of the league, right? You see where it's highlighted in blue here. They're not at the very bottom. They're not at the very top. They're right in the middle, giving up about 7.5 to 8 rebounds per game, somewhere in that range. He would need 4 tonight. So one thing you could do here is kind of like what we did for the Orlando Magic. You could go look at rebound chances. Last 3 games for Tim Hardaway Jr. and this Dallas Mavericks team. So we'll switch this up from Orlando to Dallas. And then we'll switch this up from last 5 to last 3. And then we'll click Get Stats and see what's been happening here with this Mavs team. So as far as rebound chances go, Luka's leading the way. No surprise there. 13.3 rebound chances per game over the last 3 games. Christian Wood, who's appeared in 2 of the last 3 games, 12 rebound chances per game. And then you got Dorian Finney-Smith at 9 rebound chances. Tim Hardaway Jr., a respectable 8.7 rebound chances per game. So nearly 9 rebound chances. And he's turned those 9 rebound chances into 5.3 actual rebounds per game in his last 3 games. What about the last game? Let's say Christian Wood's out tonight. Let's say he's out again tonight. Christian Wood did not play in the last game. How are those rebound chances distributed across the entire Dallas Mavericks team? Well, Luka again leads the way, no surprise, with 14 rebound chances. He had 11 for Powell, 11 for THJ. So he was tied for second on the team in rebound chances with 11. Turn those 11 rebound chances into 7 actual rebounds. So if he gets 11 rebound chances again tonight, and there's no Christian Wood, and he's sitting at 3.5 boards, man, hard not to like the rebounds, I guess, being that he was second on the team in that last game without Christian Wood with 11 rebound chances. Turn those 11 chances into, like I said, 7 actual rebounds. So, that's an opportunity for us. I mean, it's looking good. Again, we have to wait and see. Is Christian Wood going to be in or out? Because this was a game, obviously, without Christian Wood. Are we warming up maybe to liking the rebounds a little bit more? This might be the best way to play him if Christian Wood's out again. If he's going to see 10 plus rebound chances and turn them into, 7 rebounds or more, like he did in that last game against the New York Knicks, then sign me up, man. So there you go. THJ, interesting. I'm going to wait, though. I'm waiting for the Christian Wood news. David Alcatraz is asking, what about Luka over 2.5 3-point makes? It's been more missed than hit. Am I wrong on that? I think he's missed this more than he's hit this, right? 2.5, he's going up against Phoenix. All right, so in his last 4 games, he's actually been hitting a lot more. 3, 4, 7, and 4. He's taking and making. I guess my boy is taking and making more threes lately. Let's look at this one a little bit closer here. Luka Doncic going up against the Phoenix Suns. We talked about how tough Phoenix can be defensively. I know Dallas and Phoenix have faced each other quite a bit in the past, so we should have a lot of previous game logs from previous seasons to really evaluate how Luka has done on this 2.5 3-point make line. But he has seemingly found his stroke from beyond the arc, especially in the last 6 games or so, right? He's hit 3, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 4. So he's hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of his last 6 games. 5 out of his last 6, he's hit the over from what it looks like here. Let me see something here. Hold on. Let's see if we can get this little porn bot out of here. We're going to hide from the channel. There we go. I think I took care of those porn bots so you guys don't get tempted on clicking something you shouldn't be. All right? And get in trouble with your significant others, your spouses, your girlfriends, maybe even your boyfriends, depending on who you are. Don't be clicking on that porn stuff and getting yourself in trouble. But anyway, Luka Doncic at 2.5 3-point makes. He has hit the over 3 or more in 5 out of his last 6 games. 5 out of his last 6 games, he's hit the over. What about Phoenix? All time against Phoenix, the numbers don't look great here, gang. 3 for 9, 33%. This is going back to last season. Of course, you had that playoff series. It's looking at that playoff series as well. He's going to be at home tonight. Does he shoot better or worse against Phoenix at home? My guy has not hit in the last 2 seasons. This is all from last season, though. Has not hit 3 or more threes against the Phoenix Suns in his last 4 games in Dallas at home. 0 for 4 against Phoenix when playing in Dallas, for what it's worth. Take it for what it's worth. Overall, though, last 9 games, 3 for 9. He only made 2 threes against Phoenix in their only matchup from this season on 10, 19. So while, yes, he has been hot lately, historically against Phoenix, not so hot. You see the Phoenix Suns defense, they rank third in total threes allowed to opposing teams, less than 11 3-point makes allowed. 18th in 3-point field goal percentage allowed, so sort of a middle of the road average team in 3-point field goal percentage, under 36%. All right, so I don't think that this is a super strong look by any means, even though the guy has been hitting, like I said, at a higher clip in his last 5 or 6 games. It's the Phoenix Suns, y'all. It is the Phoenix Suns, and they are tough. Let's take a look at a projection for Luka Doncic 3-point makes. I got him projected for 2.9. Solid projection. We're seeing money coming in on the over. I don't know if the bettors out there have dug into it as far as we have just now, but looking at those game logs against the Phoenix Suns gives me a little bit of cause for concern. We'll just say that. So I don't know that he's going to find his way into my entries tonight. If you feel good about it, take it. All right. If the little voice in your head or the little troll in your tummy saying go with your gut, this feels like a good play tonight against Phoenix, hey, take it. I go strictly kind of like by the numbers, and so the numbers aren't looking great against Phoenix. Phoenix, tough team. James is saying, why not Luka's assists? Well, we could go Luka's assists, I guess. We could. I mean, he's at 8.5. If we feel like the lockdown defense is going to be there on Luka, maybe he ends up passing the ball more. Maybe he's scoring less, passing more. This is another way that you could possibly play Luka. We could look at how he's done against Phoenix in the assist department. At 8.5, he's hit the over in just 2 out of his last 9 games. An even worse hit rate than his 2.5 3-point makes. So he's just 2 for 9 at 8.5 assists. Only had 6 dimes against Phoenix in their earlier matchup this season, back on October 19th. So yeah, I mean, Phoenix is tough. This could be a night where Luka's not looking so superhuman tonight. Just saying. Getting you a projection on this assist number for Luka. 7.9 projected assists. Big betting favorite right now to stay under 8.5 assists. I mean, we're seeing minus 140 on the under. Minus 145 on the under. Minus 130, minus 120. Everything's coming in on the under at 8.5 assists. So you probably wouldn't want to be going over on Luka tonight. You would definitely be going against the odds, as they say. You would be going against the odds by taking Luka for 9 or more assists. So if you want to go against the odds, against the projection models, against history, because he's only hit this twice against Phoenix in 9 games, you will be going against a lot, thinking he's going to go for 9 or more assists. Could happen. It's still Luka Doncic, but hasn't had a great hit rate. Great hit rate for his career against the Phoenix Suns. 2 for 9, averaging just 7 assists against the Suns. Projected to go under. Everybody's betting the under. Minus 140, minus 145. You'd be bold. It'd be a bold move to take the over on Luka at 8.5 assists. So, I mean, that would be a less play from what it looks like here. Just going by the numbers. I know y'all don't like it, but we all want to go over on Luka, right? Gutta. What about Paolo Banchero's blocks under? Well, for me, blocks and steals is not a way that I typically play. He hasn't blocked a shot in at least 5 games, right? Hasn't blocked a shot in a while. Let's see if I've got a Banchero block projection. He's at exactly 0.5 projected blocks. But he's a minus 135 and a minus 140 betting favorite to stay under 0.5. So they don't think he's going to get a block. They being the betting public, the people with real money online who go on these sports books and bet player props. They're betting the under. They don't think he's going to record 1 block tonight. Let's look at a larger sample size on Paolo Banchero's blocks. Going up against a tough Milwaukee Bucks squad, is he going to find 1 block tonight? Let's look at it. This season, he's blocked a shot in just 6 out of 17 games. That is a 35% hit rate. His last 10 games, he is 2 for 10, just a 20% hit rate. Averaging 0.6 blocks per game for the season, just 0.2 blocks per game in his last 10, and 0 blocks in his last 5. So, hasn't blocked a shot in quite some time. Is he due? Probably, right? We probably take the under and he ends up swatting somebody tonight. That's just the way life goes. We probably take the under on Luka Doncic's assists and he ends up dropping 10 tonight. Because that's just the way it goes, right? That's just the way it goes. Guys haven't been hitting against a particular team. Guys haven't been doing very well. And then all of a sudden they decide they're going to block a shot or rack up 9 dimes, right? DC Hitta says he's liking James Harden for more than 20.5 points. Got some people with some first half only plays too. Blaze the Nugs saying he's liking Giannis for first half points at 15.5. Chris Raptor saying he's liking Ayton for first half points. Denham saying he's liking Scotty Barnes for under points, rebounds, and assists. Well, while we're talking full game here, let's look at that Scotty Barnes one. 25.5 PRA. You're liking the under, you say? Going up against Boston, even though he's posted 35 and 29 PRA in his last couple of games, you're thinking maybe we go under on Scotty Barnes tonight, Mr. Banks? Let's look at it. PRA, switching it up from all games to Boston versus Toronto. We'll click on Scotty Barnes here. Taking a look at Mr. Barnes, he is sitting at 25.5 on PrizePicks. PropStatCash has him set by default to 25.5. He is 10 for 20 this season. A 50% hit rate, a true coin flip, is Mr. Scotty Barnes. 10 for 20. What about when he plays at home? He's going to be at home tonight. He's hit the over on his 25.5 PRA at a much higher rate playing in front of the Toronto Raptors fans than he has on the road. He's 6 for 9, 67%, 28.6 PRA for the season when playing at home. 29 PRA in his last 5 games. Specifically, he has hit the over in 5 out of his last 6 home games. 5 out of his last 6 home games. You still liking it? Still liking him to go under? Historically, against the Boston Celtics, guys, my guy has hit the over in 3 out of 4 against the Celtics. Now, you could dig into this a little further. You can go and look and see who was active for Toronto. You know, was Siakam in there? Was Van Vliet in there? Was OG in there? Was Gary Trent Jr. in there? I won't do that just for time's sake, but you can see he's hitting 3 out of 4 against Boston. This is all from last season. 40, 32, 31, and just 18. 75% hit rate, over 30.3 PRA average versus the Celtics in his young career. So there you go. There's a little bit more on that PRA for Scotty Barnes. Before you go clicking the under, might want to give it a little more thought. We're also seeing Scotty Barnes at 28.3 projected points, rebounds, and assists. He's projected for anywhere between 25.5 up as high as 27.5 PRA. So if anything, I'd be leaning toward the over, because we are getting value here. We're seeing him at a lower number at 25.5 on PrizePicks versus a site like FanDuel, who's got him at 26.5. Some of these other sports books have him at 27.5. So with these other sports books setting him at a higher number, they think he's going to go for 26, 27, maybe even 28 points, rebounds, and assists against Boston tonight. And it's hard to argue that when he's averaged over 30 versus the Celtics in his career. So for him, I mean, for Barnes, I'd have to lean toward the over, being that lines makers, who are pretty good at their jobs typically, have him a point or two higher on other sites. You're getting value here. Chang Bing, I don't know, Chuen? I don't know how to say your name, brother. We'll call you CBC. How about that? Franz Wagner over 17.5 points. Quite possibly. Maybe. I think you guys should avoid messing with the Orlando Magic, but Franz Wagner, 17.5 points. He's 0 for his last 2. I would, again, tread lightly. I'm just going to do a quick lookup on this. He's projected for 17.6. He's at 17.5 on all sports books. Slight betting favorite on some of these books to go over 17.5, but hard cat to trust, as is the case with most of the Orlando Magic. They're doing a discount on Giannis Antetokounmpo. Why? Why are we getting all these discounts? Guys, be careful with this one. It looks really darn good. Not gonna front, but be careful with this one. There's a reason why we're getting this. All right, Orlando's probably going to get blown out by Milwaukee. Let's just look at this one in depth real quick. Since it is a discount, feels a little funky to me, but we're gonna look at it. 26.5 points. My guy has hit this in 72% of the games that he has played this season. 13 for 18. 72%. That's pretty good. 31.8 points per game. Last 10, 31.1, and last 5, 36.2. He's been on a heater, folks. 37, 36, 38, 30, 37, and 40. 6 for his last 6. What happens in situations, let's say the Milwaukee Bucks really do blow out the Orlando Magic, right? Let's say the Milwaukee Bucks really do blow out the Orlando Magic. What happens in games this season where Milwaukee has won by 10 or more points? At 26.5, 5 for 7 in games in which Milwaukee's won by 10 or more, averaging a healthy 32.7, 28.4 in his last 5. But before we go get too excited, Chris Middleton's back, right? Got Drew Holiday potentially in the mix, right? We got some news that's pending for this Milwaukee Bucks squad. So it says I've got over 5 hours to decide. Take your time. You ain't got to rush into it. It says we got over 5 hours to lock this in before it goes away. So almost 6 hours, actually. But maybe you want to wait and see. Wait for Chris Middleton news. Is he going to be in or out? Against Orlando, going back to last season at 26.5 points. You can see he's hit the over in 3 out of 4. There was one game where he had just 12 points against Orlando. Not quite sure why. I mean, I guess, I don't know. He played 23.7 minutes in that game. That could have something to do with it. But, yeah, the Milwaukee Bucks typically blow out Orlando. At least that was the case last season. So the most minutes Giannis has played is 30.9 against Orlando. So with Chris Middleton coming back, with Drew Holiday playing, with all these other guys potentially in the mix, the question you have to ask yourself is, do we think Giannis gets 27 points in 31 or less minutes? He's averaged about 28.7 minutes per game against Orlando, which dates back to last season. So it looks good when you look at just the game logs, but then when you start factoring in all of the different pieces to the puzzle, Middleton coming back, et cetera, you know, I don't know, gang. May not be as sexy as it looks at first glance, but a 72% hit rate this season, 13 for 18. I think you probably have to take it, even if Middleton's in. It's going to be one of those ones that's going to end up being a sweat. He is at 31 projected points against Orlando tonight. 30.5 and even as high as 31.5 on some sports books out there. So shout out to PrizePicks. I will give them credit. They gave them to us at 30.5 instead of bumping them up to 31.5 and then discounting. They left them at 30.5 and discounted from that. They could have very well just went, we're going to bump this up to 31.5, then discount it. They didn't do that. So I love you, PrizePicks. Whoever came up with this discount for Giannis, I appreciate that. But 30.5 is the number that they discounted from, bringing him down to 26.5. So I'm not mad at that. Christian brings up another fantastic point. He says you could always just take his original line at 30.5 and hit the under on that. Let's go back to last season. At 30.5, he is 2 for 4 against Orlando, hitting that number, averaging just 26.3 points per game against the Magic in 4 games from last season. Did he play any games where they blew Orlando out by 10 or more? Yeah. All right. Here's his numbers whenever Milwaukee plays Orlando and Milwaukee beats Orlando by 10 or more points. 12 points, 28 points, and 33. So at 30.5, he would only have a 1 for 3 hit rate in blowout games versus Orlando. At 26.5, he's 2 for 3 in blowout games versus Orlando. So you could always take the under if you wanted to. One other thing that I want to look at here, being that we think Chris Middleton's going to play, we go Giannis Antetokounmpo points per game average with Chris Middleton. Just want to see what he averages with Chris Middleton. So they've played together in 576 games. He averages about 21.5 points per game. What about last season? Can we get there? All right. With Chris Middleton, last season, 58 games played with Chris Middleton, averaged 30.4 points per game. That's still good. So, I mean, that 26.5, not bad. But, yeah, I could see a situation where maybe you hedge this. Maybe you take the under on his original points, and you take the over on the 26.5. I mean, you could do that too. Definitely could do that too. I wonder, will they let you put Herbert and Giannis together? Can you combine these promotions? I don't know if they'll let us do this. So you got Banchero. I'm just doing this for science and research purposes. Can only enter 20. All right, let's put it down to 20. Entries may not contain more than one discounted projection. They will not let you combine Herbert and Giannis together. So you cannot. You cannot take both. Obviously, the free square would be priority 1. That's the one that's a lock, right? So, anyway. Yeah, I would probably hedge these two Giannis props. I'd probably take this over 26.5, hope for the best, and then I would also take him under 30.5 because Orlando's going to get smacked. But you cannot combine Herbert's free square with the Giannis discount. So you'd have to do maybe something like this. Maybe take Giannis under his original 30.5 number. So that's a route that you could go. Yeah, I mean, guys, I know you have questions on the Milwaukee Bucks side, but I think it's really just a matter of waiting. It looks like Jrue Holiday's probably going to play. He's a closer bet to playing than Chris Middleton. According to RotoWire, they've got Jrue Holiday with a dark green tick next to his name. They got Chris Middleton with a light green. So they kind of expect both to play, but it looks like Jrue is the for sure guy. And we still got Brook Lopez news. His status is still up in the air too. So, we can talk about, I don't know, Jrue Holiday points if that's what you guys want to talk about. But I still say wait and see. Make sure that, Middleton's going to be in, if Lopez is going to be in or out. But yeah, I've got Holiday projected at 17.7 points. He is at 18.5 on PrizePicks, but 17.5 on these other books. So I don't know. If you want to take the over on 18.5, well, you're doing so at a higher price. You're paying more at 18.5 than some of these other sites who have them at 17.5. At 18.5, the only site we can compare to is PointsBet. They've got them at 18.5, but the public's betting the under, minus 125. So you could take that under if you wanted to. You guys are saying there's a Chris Godwin discount too? Kush? Chris Godwin discount? Maybe coming soon? I don't see it yet. Not on the PrizePicks board just yet. But I welcome a Chris Godwin discount. Receiving yards coming soon. Well, they got him at 66.5, so depending on what the discount is, it's probably a decent look because Chris Godwin's been a lot more involved. He is a target monster for Tom Brady. So that'll be a cool one if we get that one. What are we at? 1:33 p.m. Eastern time. It's been like an hour and a half, guys. I could sit here and talk all day long, but life. Maybe that's something that's coming soon though, Kush. I appreciate you guys. Again, if you want to win one of these free 2 picks to get $100 on PrizePicks, you just have to be a subscriber. You just have to like today's live stream, and then once this replay goes up, after I click end stream, the replay will get posted. Go to the comments section, comment your favorite pick of the day, and I'll randomly select one of you guys on tomorrow's show to win a free 2 pick to score $100 on PrizePicks. But appreciate Faison TV for the sub. Appreciate it. I'm going to get out of here, guys. Good luck on all your entries tonight. We'll catch you tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern time, right back here on YouTube. Peace.